Hello, welcome back to another video, and this is a sort of different tutorial because this is on a Curvy Copter. This is a non-WCA cube, and for those who are confused for what non-WCA means, WCA means, it stands for the World Cubing Association. So, like, a bunch of cubes, like the 2x2 up to 7x7, Megaminx, Pyraminx, Square One, Cube, Clock, those are all WCA puzzles. This is puzzles that aren't in there are labeled as non-WCA puzzles because this is not an official puzzle that is recognized by the WCA. This is called the Curvy Copter, and another example of a non-WCA puzzle is the Ghost Cube. It's just a 3x3 shape mod. It solves the exact same way as the 3x3, but there are no colors, and it instead uses shapes to figure out where things go. So that's an example of one WCA puzzle. Except this is a Curvy Copter, which is very different compared to other cubes. This one turns like this. It uses 180 degree moves. And this puzzle can be solved in two ways. Or scrambled in two ways. There is non-jumbling, where you just do all 180 degree moves. And then there's jumbling, where you can sort of offset it, and then turn like this. If I can line this up. Like this, where you can turn these cubes and just absolutely destroy the cube, making it look weird and basically impossible to solve. I have solved it once with jumbling. It is a pain it is a pain, but I managed to do it, and I don't plan on doing it again. Maybe in the future, but yeah. Anyway, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so I spent about a minute scrambling this cube. This is what it looks like scrambled. And it's fairly simple to solve. You don't need to learn any algorithms. There's really only two algorithms you need to learn, but that's not until the end. So I will just start the tutorial. So really, you need to find the side that has the 4 black edge pieces, like this. There's only one side that can have these, and then what you need to do, well, you can start on any color. I just use black. I wish I had a black cube instead of white, but I'm borrowing this from someone, so I didn't really get to choose that. But really, right now, what you need to do is you need to get all of the color onto this side. So one is already done. I'm just gonna use this one right here, and if I move this over, then it moves this out from where it needs to be. So I'm just gonna move this away, turn it, and then turn it back, so it's on the same side, and it'll stay like that. This one right here goes right here, but if I turn this, it ruins the one that was right here, and it moves this. So I'm going to move this out the way, turn it, and then move it back, and then turn it back, so it ends up solving. And then there's this one, which is the exact same thing. Move it out the way, turn it, move it in place, and then solve it again. So now that you have this side done, we need to start working on these corners. So right here, this corner is the way it should be. The black is facing it's on the black side, and these two colors match. Let's just turn this upside down, and we need to get these two colors to be. We need this one to be red, and this one to be blue. And make sure that when you have this, make sure that these two match up with these two colors. Hopefully I get that case. It's very common, and I'll explain how to do it. But for now, I'm just gonna show you how to get the two colors onto here. So we need to move this down, and we need to get blue onto here. So I see that there's blue right here. You can move this over, and if you do 180 degree, it'll be on the opposite side, on the opposite side like this. Instead of being up here, it'd go over here. So that's a sort of simple rule you can figure out. So if we want to move this up to here, we can't just do this, otherwise it'll mess up this corner. So we need to move this out of the way, and then put it right there, and then move it back, so it solves right there. And now we need a red piece, and it doesn't look like any of the red pieces are gonna, there isn't any red pieces I can use. This one right here, this one can't move over there. This one can't either. So really, there's these two. So we can just move this back down. And this side is the one we want, so we take that out of the way. Right there, and then we move it back. And now we do the same as the blue, as we move this out of the way, move it into place, and then move it back so these four match up, and then we move them up. It doesn't, don't worry about the other half of the cube. We just need to get this half of the cube right here to be solved right now. So now that that's done, let's work on another one that's already solved, which is this one. So this one has this one already done. We just need the green one. So again, it's right here, which will match up to here. We move this out of the way, move it into place, and then move this back, and then turn it onto the right side. So now we just see this one right here. Let's try to solve this one. So this one right here, the corner piece that belongs to it is right here. So if we move it over that position, and if we turn it upside down, we see that black does not match. So what we need to do is we need to keep turning it around the cube like that. No. Until the black faces up, and then we can turn it and see that it matches up. And say that when you turn it upside down, this edge is like the other way around. Instead of red, red, and green, green, it's red, green, and green, red, or however, whichever color that side's on. Just move it back up, move it out the way, twist this edge, put it back, and then check it to see if it matches up. And if it does, then you can just solve it normally how you would do it. Now I don't see any green pieces that can match up to here except for this one. Really, you just have to move around the pieces to find out where the pieces are. This one right here, if I move this over there, it goes onto here, and then if I move this right up to here, it matches up with this. So I can just move this out the way, put it there, and then match it up there. And these two reds can't be used, and this red can't be used because it's already solved. So this is the only one that we can possibly use right there. Now we move it over and put it in how I showed earlier, and then we move it back up, and now we're on to the last slot right here. And luckily for me, the black is already facing up, but the center isn't matched up. So let's just twist that, and now it matches. And if we check, then these colors match up like the rest. And now we just need to do what I did earlier and continue to pair these up. So this blue can't be used because it's right here, and no matter what you do, it'll never move out of, it'll never match up to here or here. And this blue can't, because it'll match up to here, and it can't go anywhere over here where we need it. This one's already been used, and this is the only one we have left. So right here, so you move this over, and it pairs up right here. So let's move this out of the way, put that there, and then move it back, and that matches up. And there's red and orange. This orange is already in place, so we can just move this back, and then insert it and then move it in like that. So now that we finished the first this layer, now it's time to work on the this layer. So what we need to do is we need to get yellow. We need to get this all yellow. Don't worry about these corner pieces. That's the last step. So what I need to do is just intuitively, well, all of this that we've done so far has been intuitive. You can figure it out with a bit of patience and thinking. This part is also intuitive. So right here, we need to get let's just say we need to finish these 4 pieces. I see that the last orange is right here, so we move this over there. And, the orange doesn't match up, so if we move this down, they match up. And we're back up with the other situation, so we can just do this. And that'll solve. And then let's go to the one next to it, which is the blue one. So let's do this. But that was sort of unnecessary, because then we'd have to do that again, because we realized that it's this situation, like right here, where these 2 are solved and this one isn't. So we can just move this back over, twist that over, move it back, and then move it over. And now we're on to the last 2. Red, we're on that same, right here. This one's solved, but this edge isn't. So let's just turn that over so both are solved. And then move this, move that away. Move that over, and then put it back. And then once you solve 3, the 4th one is automatically solved, so we can just turn that over like that. And now we're on to the last. Well, right now you need to learn 2 algorithms. They're very, very simple and easy to memorize. But we need to orient these corners into the right place. So these 3 colors don't match with these 3 colors. This one doesn't, this one doesn't, and this one doesn't. So what you need to do from any position, if none of them match up, just do R, L prime, or I'm not really sure how this notation works, but you can just memorize it like this. That was basically, yeah, so, now, after we did that, this one is solved. This is in the right spot with these colors match up with these. It's not oriented correctly, but it's in the right spot. These 3 aren't. If you have one solved, then have this one on the bottom left right here, and then do the algorithm again. So I'm just going to say R, L prime, B, L prime, B, R, B, L prime, B, L prime. You know, it doesn't really matter about prime or normal, because no matter what, it's always a 180-degree move. It doesn't matter which way, so just ignore the primes, and just leave it as a letter like that. So now that if there was one solved and 3 weren't, there can only be 2 possible situations where none of them are solved and one of them is solved. If there's 2 of them solved and 2 aren't, then you have a problem. And if one isn't, well, that's not possible. But as long as you have all of them unsolved, or one solved only, then you're good. But if you have 2 unsolved and 2 solved, then your cube is messed up, I believe. So now that we have these into the correct positions, the colors, we can start learning the other algorithm, which is a very simple just cycle of moves. So right here, none of the corner pieces have yellow facing up, so from just any position we can just do F, R, B, L, 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 F, R, B, L. It's just that. It's just F, R, B, L 6 times. Or if you don't want to count, just keep doing it until all of these match up again, like this. But you see, by doing that, we fixed one. When you're doing this, either one can be solved, none can be solved, or 2 can be solved. If there's one unsolved and the rest are solved, then you have, again, a problem. But like this is what you want, where it's, because doing F, R, B, L turns these pieces counterclockwise. If you want to turn them clockwise, do L, B, R, F 6 times. So right here, we have this case where 1 is solved and then 3 aren't. And this is what you want. Or right here, if this piece is turned counterclockwise, it'll orient it correctly. If this is done counterclockwise, it'll orient correctly. And if this is done counterclockwise, it'll orient correctly. So really, we can just do the counterclockwise algorithm and do F, R, B, L, 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 F, R, B, L. And that solves the cube, these corners, because you had to turn it counterclockwise. Hold on. So let's say you get the opposite of that case, where instead of having to orient them counterclockwise, they have to be clockwise instead of counterclockwise to be solved. You can do this algorithm. It's just the same, but starting off and ending with different. Instead of doing F, R, B, and then L, you can just do L, B, R, F, 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 and it'll solve. So let's say you get this case where it's both of the other cases combined. So on one side, 2 are facing out, and the 2 are facing on the same side, and the other 2, they're opposite like this. What you need to do is hold it, so the ones facing on the same side are on the right, and the ones opposite of each other on the left, and then do the counterclockwise algorithm. And once you do that, you're left with this case, which you need to turn them counterclockwise, so you can just do the counterclockwise algorithm again. And it's solved. So let's say you got this case where 2 are solved and 2 aren't, and the yellow stickers are facing opposite of each other like this. Hold the unsolved piece, hold the unsolved edges to the left, like this, and then do the counterclockwise algorithm. And you'll get this case where none of them are solved, but 2 are facing this, the yellow stickers on 2 of them are facing the same direction, and 2 on the others are on the opposite sides. What you need to do is hold the cube like this, where the opposite facing stickers are to the right, and the stickers facing the same side are to the left, the right. So yeah, these to the right, and the opposite stickers to the left. And from this position, do the counterclockwise algorithm. And you'll see that the one will be solved, and it'll set up the rest of them for a counterclock or orientation. So we can just do that. We can just turn it ends up like this, but just turn the cube like this and do it again. And it is solved. And let's say you get this case where, again, like the other one, 2 are unsolved and 2 are unsolved. 2 are solved and 2 are unsolved, except as if stickers facing the opposite directions, they're on the same side like this. Again, like the last one, hold it to the left, on the left side, the unsolved ones, and then do the counterclockwise algorithm. And you'll be left with this case where one is solved and 3 aren't, and they have to be turned clockwise instead of counterclockwise. And right here, then you can do the clockwise algorithm where you start off with L instead of F and go the other way around. And it is solved. So let's say you get this case where the stickers are facing the same direction on both sides, like this. So what you want to do is hold it from any position where the stickers are facing you and do the clockwise algorithm. And then you're left with this case where you have to turn them clockwise. No, you have to turn them counterclockwise. You can just do the algorithm from the correct position. And it is solved. So let's say you get this case where 2 are solved on the opposite sides and 2 aren't, and they're facing like this. Let's hold the cube so the stickers are facing toward you and to the right, and then do the counterclockwise algorithm. And now you're left with this case where 2 are facing the same, on both sides they're facing on the same side like this. So just face one of them where they're facing you and then do the counterclockwise algorithm. And then you're left with this case where you have to turn these counterclockwise, so you just do it again. And it is finally solved. So that was all of the cases I believe are possible. If there was a case that I missed, please let me know, so I'll redo it and make a separate video explaining how to solve that case. Or you could figure your own way and leave it in the comments below. So that was a tutorial to solve that was a non-jumbling tutorial for solving the Curvy Copter. Again, non-jumbling. I may make a jumbling tutorial on that. I'm not exactly sure if I'd like to, but if you want to, then please leave it in the comments below, and I'll make that video. And anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.